So I'm thrilled to be here at the Alt.net conference in Seattle and run into my old friend and colleague, Ed Jezerski. And we've been talking about his new work, which is with the Humanitarian Foundation.
It's called Instead.
Instead.
Yeah, it's a funny name. What we do is technologies for disaster response and disease detection, mostly in developing countries.
Yes. And one thing you told me that I thought was really interesting is how important it is that the technologies that are going into developing countries be developed in developing countries. And can you say a little bit about why that is?
Well, two things. First of all, every technology goes obsolete. And sometimes when technology gets developed in a place where it's not where the needs are, it will tend to go obsolete faster, and then people are disempowered to do anything about it. What we have learned and what we have observed is that if people who are seeing the challenges in their own health or in their own country have the right toolkits and the right knowledge and skills to build the technology themselves, not only it will tend to be more appropriate to the needs and the context in which it will be built, but also as it goes obsolete, there's no problem because they'll just create another
make some
one.
more, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And your role in this is helping to set up a lab that where this work is going to be done. Tell me what you do.
So there's mostly two things that we're doing in the technology space. First of all, is creating a lab in the countries in which we're working that has developers, human interaction designers, product managers that understand the requirements, and then also having developers from around the world contribute to open source projects that can be used as building blocks by this lab team in assembling the solutions they have. Yeah.
So do you have your first open source project coming out of this, or what?
Yeah, we have actually three. One of them is a tool that allows people just via SMS to communicate in groups. It's kind of like an IRC channel over SMS. And these places like Bangladesh or Cambodia, you don't have Twitter.
Yeah.
And so we are building things that not only allow people in the field to communicate via SMS, which tends to be cheap and also convenient, but we bridge SMS and email or SMS on a web page, allowing those with computers communicate with those that don't have computers. And also putting things on a map and getting some context information that is useful for people to work together.
Is there something about this that surprised you? I mean, this is, I know you from working at Microsoft, where we're both working for the big company, and so now you're in a small organization and working with even smaller development groups. Is there something about that's different in a way that you didn't expect?
Yes, the surprises actually happen every day. I think that the biggest surprise is how much being in an environment that doesn't tolerate complexity can actually help you build simpler solutions. If you have customers that are very unsophisticated, if you have trying to solve problems that are really tough, there's very little tolerance for bad user designs, very little tolerance for bad performance, and it's really a very demanding environment, but a demanding environment just makes the best ideas surface to the top a bit faster. So I guess the best surprise is that so many good ideas have surfaced because of a more demanding environment.
And so you're feeling pretty good about your time so far there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a great, both a great change, and I also think I can bring a lot from my past experience in, but at the same time I learn so much every week.
Now, is there something that about you and your career that kind of made you ready to do this, or is this an opportunity that just landed in your lap? If somebody else were thinking of, well, maybe they had a humanitarian streak, but they just didn't know how to do it, what would help them, in their mind, prepare to follow in a path like yours?
Well, I think the first thing to realize is that the humanitarian space is full of gaps, especially in the technology area, where it's not full of gaps that are just another database apps. It's that the gaps are really demanding the best ideas. So if you work in technology and you have a bit of an attraction to do something that has an impact for the majority of the world, know that there's plenty of great things to work on ready at your disposal, and maybe we can help you find projects that you'd be willing to contribute to.
Well, Ed, I hope that you have a large impact on the whole world, and I am not and would not be surprised if you did. And with that, I want to thank you for participating in the interview.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.